Welcome to Public House, intimate conversations with people making a difference in the Hudson Valley. And now, from Paula's Public House in Poughkeepsie, New York, here's Paula Young.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this special edition of Paula's Public House. Obviously I am not Paula, but Paula is right next to me. We are at Paula's Runway Cafe, a new venture of Paula's, as if she doesn't have enough already, but this is something that was needed. This was a passion of hers, and we're going to talk to her about that and some of the other things going on in her life. First of all, congratulations. This is awesome.
It's wonderful, and I think it's fun, and it provides people a place to eat that's warm and comforting and hopefully inviting to their palate and their soul, which is what I like to do.
So you're here at the Dutchess Regional...
Hudson Valley Regional. We've rebranded.
Right, Hudson Valley Regional Airport.
Yes.
Here in Dutchess County in Wappingers Falls.
Yes.
And you're on the first floor. You have a nice cafe, open for breakfast all day long.
Breakfast all day long because, you know, I don't know, but some folks like me, like to be able to get eggs and bacon a little bit later in the day.
Hey, and McDonald's changed their menu because of that,
Because of me, I think.
Because of you.
Starting at 11:30 we get lunch, and, you know, it's just going to be a fun place. It's 7 days a week. Bring your kids and watch the planes. Bring yourself and read a book. Just come in, sit down, relax. Don't feel rushed.
We were just taping before, and we saw a Russian MiG.
Yes.
Which you don't see every day.
And a Russian MiG and another Russian plane that I don't know what the letters are that go with it, but there were two Russian planes that just came in with non-Russian flyers. They came from Virginia Beach.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how much activity there is at this area. You think it's a small airport, and it is relatively small compared to others.
Do you know who was just here the other day?
Who's that?
A very, very, very famous fellow, Jeff Bezos from Amazon.
Sure.
Flew his airplane, parked it over there, then got on his private helicopter, and in 17 minutes was in Midtown.
No kidding.
So he flew in, got on the air. It was amazing.
It's a pretty significant place and has a lot of character to it.
Yes,
You're bringing a lot of character.
What I like about this airport is that it's central in the county. It's very centrally located.
Right.
And my plans are to be able to use the lobby space as more of a community space.
Nice.
So I want to do Christmas caroling here. I want the high schools to do art shows here. I want the Red Cross to do a blood drive here. I want Hudson Valley Animal Rescue to be able to do an adoption day here for their puppies and kittens. We pay as taxpayers for this space, but I think a lot of folks don't use it, don't even realize it's here. So that's my goal, is to make this part of another thriving part of our community.
Now we know about the success of Paula's Public House, the restaurant nightclub that you have, which is very successful. People love that. What was the impetus to say, I want to open up something else? Because we all know how difficult it is to run a restaurant.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, the young lady that had this place passed away. Before she passed away, she was an acquaintance of mine, a friend. And she was telling me about it, and I always thought it would be kind of cool to offer breakfast. I love breakfast. It's your first meal of the day. It's kind of saying hello to the world. And the space became open. The county put out RFPs, which is requests for proposals. We submitted. We were accepted. And, of course, James thinks I'm insane. And, well, the jury's out on that. But I said, let's give it a try.
Let's talk about what else is going on in your life. Obviously, you are running for county legislator.
I am.
In Hyde Park.
I am.
What was behind that? What drove you to figure that you had to run?
Okay. I love the Hudson Valley, and I really like Dutchess County. And I've lived in LaGrangeville. I lived in Beacon. I lived in LaGrangeville, and now I live in Hyde Park. We wanted to move to Hyde Park because it has sidewalks and because it's this really cool happening town, and there's lots of history. And I'm in Hyde Park, and I'm looking around, and I'm saying there's a lot of stuff here that could be better. And I watched some of the meetings, you know, on television when they broadcasted meetings.
Sure.
And I thought, there's a lot of discussion and not a lot of action. So I got a phone call from one of the liquor store owners in the area, and she said, our local legislature person is not responding to our phone calls, and we need her help. And we can't get in touch with her, but could you come and help us? And I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. And they said, yes, you do. We know what you do. We know your outreach to the community. So come and speak on our behalf. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, well, if the local person isn't responding to the needs of the community, maybe the needs of the community need to be met by somebody who will respond. And as you know, I cannot see something that needs doing and not do it. I can't see litter and not pick it up. So I thought this is an opportunity for me to try to help. I'm going to make an effort to be elected and to bring my particular can-do quality and whatever skills I have, God-given skills I have, to becoming a good legislator. And win or lose, I am still committed to Hyde Park and the people in Hyde Park and the county and making it better for everybody.
I think, a skill set that you have that other people don't have is that you're an entrepreneur. And I think that promotes a can-do attitude in anything that you do, and that you'll take that attitude and apply that to anything that you get associated with. So if elected, I would imagine that you're going to apply that same can-do mentality and do everything that you can do. Here's the thing with Paula. She has a restaurant, she has this cafe now, she's running, and people say, wow, she's got too much on her plate. I don't know anyone else who can handle everything that she's got on her plate with ease, and probably could put one or two more things on your plate and still be okay. She's cheerful, she's smiling, she's always vibrant throughout the day, from morning to night.
I was coming here this morning and the sun was coming up. And I was thinking about my mother who passed away, as you know, 5 years ago. And I was starting to cry because I miss her. And then I realized, but you know what? I have this day, I have this opportunity to make things better in my life, in the lives of others, even if just by serving a good cup of coffee or by standing and speaking on their behalf. I just believe we're not just put here to just take advantage of. We're put here to do something greater than ourselves.
Everybody is.
Everybody. Our charge as the stewards of this planet, because that's what I believe we are, is to do something, anything that you can. Just go next door and say hi to your neighbor. Go to the beach and pick up the trash. Mentor a kid. Read for them. There's so much we can do. And people either feel powerless or I'm not sure. I don't know why people don't do more. But if it was up to me, we'd all help each other, because that's the only way. We're one group, one society. We're one humanity. And and my work with animals, it gives me a certain understanding that there's plenty of things that we can do. We just don't realize it.
Yeah. Let's get into your background. Many people know you from the wine bar you had in Fishkill, then the restaurant that you have in that Red Oaks Mills area, and now this Runway Cafe. But a lot of people don't know your background in politics, working in the city.
Yes, I worked. I was a journalist. I used to write for the Daily News, and I wrote crime, which was always interesting enough. And then when Mayor Giuliani had beginning his second term, he was interviewing for public relations, and I was acquainted with Christine Latagano, who was his press secretary. And I went in and I wore a blue suit. I was a registered Democrat for a long time. And Rudy says, "Nice blue suit." I said, "Thank you." And he said, "Why do you want to work with me?" And I said, "Because I truly believe that America stands as the shining city on the hill, and it's the aspiration. New York City is where everyone comes with their hopes and dreams and suitcases, and I want to help get that message out." And I was hired, and I worked as a senior commissioner at 2 different agencies for him, sanitation and general services, and it was such an experience. But one thing I did learn from him: in politics, if anything good gets accomplished, it's sort of a byproduct of the process. And I get crazy by that. I think we need to do more and talk less. I think people need to get out there and get busy. And I think our politicians need to cut to the chase and need to be accountable to us and to really do what their charge is. We elect you to make our life better, make our society better. And that's what I'm about.
Well,
and I know you believe that too.
I absolutely believe it, but I think that the point I was getting at was that some people will say, well, she only has been really in the area for a short period of time. She doesn't have the knowledge of whatever. If you have the knowledge from one of the best mayors, I believe, who was in New York City. At
that time, Rudy Giuliani was exemplary in every way.
Right?
At that time, he was an amazing human being.
And so you absorbed that because you were working in the inner circle of all that. So you saw how things were happening. So you have that knowledge. That knowledge is still with you.
Right.
And now you take that knowledge and you apply whatever you can to the situation that you're in.
Right, and knowledge from life. We all learn from making mistakes mostly.
Sure.
And experience. But I think that when people say, well, you've only lived in Hyde Park a year or a little bit more than a year, I say, you know that when you walk past something every day, you stop noticing it?
Sure.
But when you see it for the first time with a brand new set of eyes, you actually see the problem. You see that the paint is rusting and maybe, it's chipping and things need to be repaired that you wouldn't notice if you see it every day.
Right.
So I think that the fresh eyes on a situation is what gives me a different perspective.
Yeah. Now, as we look at Hyde Park, there are a lot of empty buildings.
Yes.
Storefronts.
Yes.
On that, little strip of Route 9. You have a plan for that, to try and fill that space?
I have a million ideas, and I would like to be able to bounce them. A lot of those buildings are owned by folks who keep them empty for multiple reasons. One of the main ones in New York City was because it's a tax write-off for them. So it actually behooves them to keep it empty because they wind up, it's beneficial.
Really?
Yeah, and that's kind of stinky. I don't know that that's the situation in all these buildings, but I do know that it's not a good enough excuse, in my opinion. So there's ways to go around that. I also believe that saying that we don't have a sewer system is nonsense. Yes, sewers are really important in a community, especially if you're going to have high volume restaurants. But for many, many hundreds of years in this country and all through Europe, there was no sewer system. And they still managed to have thriving businesses. We have sanitation, having worked at sanitation, I'm aware of how it works. So let's not put obstacles in front of our solutions. Let's come up with the idea and then figure out a way to create that change. I just cannot be weighed down by the reasons I can't do something.
Right.
Period, the end. I mean, there's a million reasons I couldn't do this, but I did it. And if it takes a little extra work from me and everybody else, we deserve it. We have become complacent and we have become somewhat comfortable. And comfortable is good for slippers, but not for humans. We need to get out and get motivated. We have a crisis of our world. Young people have lost faith, hope. We need to do that. Our generation's charge. I get emotional because it means so much to me. We have to really motivate people by our own actions, and I just care a lot about things, but I believe it can get done. It motivates me, and yes, I do get emotional, but because there are big problems, and if you're going to sit there and be la 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 about the big problems, they're never going to get solved.
Right.
So yeah.
All right.
I have strong opinions, but I do listen.
I wish I had a handkerchief for you.
No, it's okay. These aren't tears of sorrow.
I know.
They're
You're just a very passionate person.
In what I do.
And it comes out. Paula, I want to thank you for
Charlie,
taking time out of your day because this is a hopping place.
Thank you for putting me in the hot seat.
Yes.
I'm perspiring.
Anyway, we want to thank you for tuning into Paula's Public House. Check out her website. Check out, you're on this one already, but check out her Facebook page for Paula's Public House, now for the Runway, for Paula Young Bora, for County Legislator, that Facebook page. We hope that you've enjoyed the segment. Maybe you got something out of it. Tell your friends and be sure to vote.
Whoever you vote for, it's your right. Use it. Vote. It's important. It means you care. And just, my dad said people vote with their feet. So get out there and vote,
Good. We'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Charlie.
Good job, baby.
Paid for by the committee to elect Paula Young Bora for Dutchess County Legislature, Hyde Park District 4.